Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. In this video today, we're discussing Thai visas yet again. It's been kind of a ubiquitous topic on this channel here recently because of its importance. We're dealing with a regime right now that is far more difficult to deal with in terms of complexity. The process is just far more complex than it was even months ago. It's quite cumbersome in this sort of COVID era we're dealing with. But a question I get rather frequently is, what visa is going to get me to Thailand the quickest? Well, if you qualify for them, there are only, well, let me preface this by saying there are only a couple of categories that are currently allowed to travel to Thailand and be granted admission. This is for non-immigrant foreign nationals. So those who have Thai permanent residence, obviously they can come back in right now, although the process is more cumbersome than in standard times. And obviously Thai citizens can come into Thailand. But non-immigrant, non-Thai nationals, so we're talking about only a few categories of folks are going to be able to get in. And right now they're letting in folks for medical purposes, education, and even that is rather truncated compared to normal times. You're looking at B visa holders and O visa holders. So business and O visa, and specifically O visas for those married to Thai, O visas for those who have Thai parents and Thai children. And a question that's been coming up a lot is, what's the fastest? What's the fastest way to get in? Well, if you qualify for it, in my opinion, the most straightforward is the B visa, because if you have a work permit and you are able to get work pre-authorization to get a B visa, it's relatively straightforward. Whereas, if you're not married to a Thai, you can't get an O visa. And the education, nobody should pretextually or worse, pretensively use some sort of subterfuge to get a visa. So basically don't lie. And if you're not really coming to Thailand for education purposes, for example, university or something, then you really aren't eligible for an education visa. A business visa, if you're coming to Thailand to work, if you own your own company, if you're working for a company here in Thailand, a small business, medium-sized business, perhaps a BOI company, a company in the Eastern Economic Corridor, those kinds of companies, any of those can provide sponsorship for a B visa to come into Thailand. So in my opinion, at least at present, one of the most straightforward categories currently, and one we're dealing with rather frequently right now here in our firm, is the business visa. Now again, not everybody qualifies for that. If you don't meet the qualifications, then you're not going to be able to get that visa. And again, you shouldn't go after any visa as a pretext or a pretense. But if you qualify, a B visa currently, in my opinion, is about the most straightforward and smoothest. Fast isn't really a word I would use under current circumstances, but most straightforward. I currently think the B visa meets that criteria.